Hey, I'm Trevor, and welcome back to my raw vlog, video diary, basically, of sorts. I want to talk, not I guess, but authenticity. So that word gets thrown around a lot, all right? And we've had lots of descriptions about it from like Jordan Peterson and, Chris Williamson, Jay Shetty, all these philosophers essentially, but nobody's explaining like how do you do it? How do you become authentic? How do you identify your own desires to even know what your authentic desires are? So I don't know. I just want to give my 2 cents on that in layman's terms, because if I can grasp something that's been digested into layman's terms, I'm not a, you know, I'm not Einstein, all right? So if I can explain my thoughts, then other people can understand it because I'm a little dense. So we make it work though. Yeah, so I think it is important to be authentic. It really is. So if you're not authentic, nothing is going to line up in your life. It's just not, because you're not going to attract the correct people that are a match for you. You're not going to attract the correct jobs. You're not going to attract the right activities. Just nothing is going to line up, and it's going to be extremely exhausting just to do your life, do your job, do your social circle, because you're faking it. You're not authentic, and you'll feel it when you get off work. You'll be like, oh, I'm so drained. I've been here, by the way. This is coming from experience. Like, this is not just an opinion. I've done the inauthentic thing for a long time. Now I'm just older and I don't care, which is the best part of getting older. I love getting older. Everybody else is freaked out with grays and you getting fat or whatever. Who gives a shit? Like, I don't care what people think. And from a guy who was ruled by that forever, it's very refreshing. That's a tangent. So anyways, I think you need to know yourself first. So you got to identify, what music do you like? What movies do you like? What physical activities do you like? What kind of foods do you like? Like, really, like, how do you like to spend your spare time? Do you like the outdoors? Do you like movies? Really figure out, sit back, like, what do I enjoy in life? Not what am I told to enjoy by the media or by other people that you're trying to emulate. Really identify your desires. And when you do that, the first thing that's going to happen is going to dictate how you spend your time. Because, wait a minute, I hate my job. Okay, well, that's a start, because I spend 40 hours a week doing that. So let's switch that up, okay? And then, hey, I don't like that music. Hey, I don't like this activity or whatever. But I think you need to align to your desires first. And then from that, you're going to spend time in those desires. And then you're going to be around people that are also spending time in those desires. And all of a sudden, you're meeting people that are on your same vibration, your same frequency, and they have your same interests. And you just click with them. And when you're authentic, people that you're attracting are also going to be authentic, because inauthentic people can't handle being around authentic people. I'm going to try to. So that's my opinion of that. And I think to really let yourself sink into finding your desires, you have to be like, another part of being authentic that people aren't talking about is you can't do it if you're not living with integrity. Because if there's parts of your life that you're ashamed of, or you're hiding, and there's activities that nobody knows about, or there's things you're doing that are wrong that you think you're getting away with, you're not. Even if you are getting away with them, there is some sort of cosmic scorecard or universal karma, or it's, at the very least, it's holding on your soul. But if you're living without integrity, there's parts of your life you have to hide, and you cannot be authentic. You can't. And so you got to do the right thing. You got to do, and you don't have to be perfect. And another thing is, like, you got to understand you're not going to be perfect. And I think one of the biggest pieces of finding your authentic self is self-forgiveness. I really do. Because if you can't forgive yourself, you're stuck in self-pity. And if you're stuck in self-pity, you're a victim. So anything that happens to you in life is just happening to you. You have no control. If you can't change anything, because everyone else is at fault. Everything else is at fault. This didn't work because of this or that. If you don't look back on yourself as the problem in every situation, there is nothing to fix. Think about that. If you're not the problem, there is no solution. You cannot fix other people. You cannot control outside circumstances. So you're just going through life at the whim of whatever people life circumstances get thrown at you, and your entire existence is dictated by other people, places, and things. And when that happens, you cannot be authentic. So self-forgiveness is extremely important. So is living with integrity. And you don't have to be perfect. I'm sure there's a lot of dudes out there who are like, oh, yeah, I'm living with integrity, this, and that, but shit, I watch porn, Okay, cool, work on that. But disclaimer, I just had 2 years porn free, all right? 2 years, nothing, and I recently, oh man, okay, I just flow here. The whole point of this is a video diary, all right? So, but yeah, I had 2 years porn free. I threw it away a few months ago, and since then it's been, spotty, and I'm getting a month here, and blah, blah, blah. So I don't want to get into too much detail because nobody wants to hear a dude talking about porn addiction. But I can tell you that you can get out of it. And it's just like any other dopamine inducing habit. It's very weird in the first few weeks. And yes, there's discipline involved. I know there's a lot of self-help group and things like that where they say you have no power and you need to surrender all of that and do this to get power and do these steps to get to God's acceptance and therefore you have power. I don't believe that's true based on experience. I believe that we do have the power of choice, and until something hurts bad enough, you're not going to make the choice to stop doing that. And that's the cold hard truth that I think nobody's talking about. So how do you become authentic? You live with integrity, you forgive yourself, and if you're in that state of mind, you can identify what things you like in life. Where do you want to spend your time? And when you do that, you are then surrounded by other people with similar interests. And then of those people, the only ones that are going to be a match for you are other authentic people, because inauthentic people can't handle being around authentic people. It makes them uncomfortable and jealous. And then sometimes people might try to fake it, and they're going to be bringing you down because they're jealous. And that's another thing. So you can't be authentic if you have energy vampires and if you have people pulling down on you constantly. And so, but again, that's all down the line. The first thing you got to do is clean up as much of your life as you can and be as integral as possible. And start with the easy stuff. Like, if you have an expense account at work and you're getting, you're doing gift cards and you're like, well, this is part of my salary, everyone else is doing it and blah, blah, blah. Pick the easiest thing in your life that you're justifying and start by cutting that. Do that for a month and watch how different you feel. And I'm serious, because when you're violating that conscience and you're not living with integrity, that's hurting you, but it's not necessarily in the lane that you're violating your integrity. So if you're stealing money, it's not going to show up as like I'm having financial problems because I'm putting bad karma surrounding on my finances. No, it could show up as relationship problems. It could show up as irritability. It could show up as shame. It could show up in sexual addictions. We're consciousness running this physical body, and I'm not going to be able to explain that and relate it back to authenticity, so I'm not going to try. But anyways, that's my experience on being authentic. And you have to find yourself first, and got to have as clean a path as possible. And if you can't get completely cleaned up, still move forward. Like I said, clean what you can, but don't beat yourself up, because I struggle with perfectionism, where if I'm not perfect in every area, then everything's a failure. And that's just not, I lost a lot of years doing that. And the fact is, you can clean up one area at a time. Think about living with integrity like cleaning a fish tank, okay? If you dump all the water out of a cultured fish tank where they have the microbiome in the water and the balance of the chemicals and the bacterias and blah, 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 if you dump all that and then refill it, they're all gonna die. It's not sustainable. But if you do little bits at a time, 25% at a time, over time, it's completely cleaned out and refreshed. And then each of those increments of water flushes are sustainable. And so it's repeatable. It's a sustainable process. And so think about it like that. That analogy really helped me. And then if you're not perfect, great. Nobody is. And forgive yourself. Dude, you don't do what I did and waste 20 years on self-pity and just thinking you're a victim to everything. That's a very, very addicting drug, that self-pity stuff. And it's really easy to get lost in, and it's really easy to have it masked with anger. And frankly, stuff happens in life that is not fair. You really have been a victim, and self-pity doesn't have a place. I was going to say it has a place, but I actually do not think self-pity, if you're feeling sorry for yourself, you're out of the game. You can't heal, you can't help other people, which is the goal of all of this, is to be in a position mentally, physically, and spiritually to be at your peak to help other people with whatever you're doing in life. Even if you're, doing a job you don't like, one interaction at a time, you can lift someone up and help them. But so anyways, that's my rant on authenticity. There's no notes. These are not prepped. There's no edits. So I'm already thinking of so much I missed, and that kind of makes me insecure. Like, what do I look like? And the reality is I don't actually care. This is like kind of my video diary, and I keep saying this, but everybody should try this. Just try it. Just turn a camera on and start telling stories of your life and see what happens. It's like every time I do this, it's releasing emotion. I'm just getting lighter by the day. So I'm very grateful for YouTube. It's crazy. You can do this for free. You can upload videos that could potentially reach billions of people and help them if it's meant to be, for free, and they're just hosted forever. That's phenomenal. So anyways, ranting. I love humans. I love you all. I mean that. And I hope you guys, yeah, I don't know. All right, gang.